Hey guys, so I mentioned in my last video how I'm going to start talking about a lot more health related stuff, and this video is a continuation of that. So we're going to get pretty specific into what I've been learning recently about emotional health, and I do have a full, actually I have many pages in my journal about this. I have a full note in my journal about this as well as in my notes app, but I did want to make a video on it just because it is something that is very important to me, and I have complete faith in these methods that I've learned and cultivated over the years. So yeah, this is what's worked for me. Basically, when it comes to emotional health, I've learned a few things, okay? So the first thing that I've learned is that it is very important to monitor your emotional health no matter what. Emotional health is the first thing that should be considered when it comes to anything or any situation. If something makes you uncomfortable, you listen to your gut feeling, to your instinct about it, to your emotions about it. Emotions are energy in motion, and what this means is that they are very powerful, because if energy is stagnant, it is powerful, but when it is in motion, it is even more powerful still. This is what causes the flowing of the rivers, the tides of the ocean, even the physical force of gravity. And as we know, what is a force? A force is exactly that, energy in motion. So emotions are very powerful. They can lead us to manifesting all different kinds of things depending on what it is that we are feeling, what it is that we're thinking about, and what it is that we're giving attention to. So it's very important that we monitor the energies and motion that are going around inside of our vessels, inside of our minds, and our minds, which are attached to our subconscious and conscious minds as well, and then also which is attached to our physical body via our nervous system. So it's very important that we are monitoring what electrical currents go through our brain, and conversely, what energetic currents flow throughout our body. In this way, when we really govern and monitor what's going on, we understand that, hey, okay, I am not a byproduct of life, right? I'm not just another cog in the wheel or whatever. I'm not as important as I've been thinking I am, right? Life doesn't happen to me. I happen to life. I create life. Yeah? You do. Because look, this life is different for everybody based on what they individually create. This is very true. Based on what you individually create, your life is going to be different than my life. So it is about what we pay attention to. For example, I'll give you a very key example. If you live in a dirty house and you just get so accustomed to living that way, right, in a state of dirt, in a state of neglect, basically, in a state of maybe hoarding, like you're hoarding items, right? The exact opposite of minimalistic. If you're in a state of having clutter around you, then you are going to base your worth subconsciously in some way on that mess and that clutter. Because very slowly what happens with us human beings is that we blend in, number one, to our society around us and our friends and close associates around us. And then number two, we blend into the environment around us. We really blend, we become one with our environment, because our lives and our attention and our energy is directly infused with our environment. So these are a few things that I've learned. Practicing feng shui or any sort of vastu as well is really, really important, because what this does is it allows for you to welcome the different energetic currents of life into your space, into your room. And then also, you actually can make your place a sacred place for you to practice connecting with God, which is the most important thing you should be doing. So it's very important to have a spiritual practice. I would encourage it highly, because what it does is it allows you to do what it is that you are meant to do as a human being. Animals cannot do this because they don't have this privilege, but we have this privilege. So if we're ignoring it, that means we are exercising a lack of gratitude towards this privilege, which means, right, then at that point, we do not deserve this privilege of being able to connect with our Creator. Because guess what? We can. All of us can, individually. It's very possible for every single individual to connect with their Creator, to connect with God. It's very possible. So it's important that we are exercising this possibility and this privilege very often as we can. So a spiritual regimen is best done in a clean setting, and that's one example of health that I have recently discovered. Also, minimalism is really important because it allows for you to just have a clear slate for everything, for your mind, for your life, for your thoughts, for the way you base your emotions on certain things and everything. You know, I'm Scorpio, so we're very deep. So I base my emotion on everything. I'm so exhausted of myself. Because literally I do that. Every single song for me has an emotion. Every single like person or like person's name that I hear has an emotion. Even like places hold emotion for me, but it's not just those things, it's everything. Do you know what I mean? It's like the shoes that I wear, like it's literally everything. I'm nuts. So it's like that, you know. So yeah, it's important to have a clean space. It's important to keep yourself as minimalistic as possible. Another health thing that I've recently learned is taking cold showers twice a day, right when you rise in the morning and then right when you go to bed. Is very important and crucial and key and beautiful and amazing and like awesome to implement in your life and life-changing, because what this does is it allows you to just kind of hit the reset button on your mind a little bit. And actually what I've learned over time is that the physical body correlates with the mental state and vice versa. So if you like dunk your head or whatever in cold water, you're gonna feel really shocked, obviously. But what that's going to do for your nervous system is it is going to shock it, right? So in a way, it can be very therapeutic if you utilize this shock in a way that is towards therapy, in a way that is healing. When we do this, when we do utilize abilities, when we do utilize like everything in our world around us to heal us in some way, there is no lack of possibilities to heal and to grow and to expand and to evolve. It's really amazing. So also showering with salt, rock, what is it? Epsom salt. Oh, amazing. Seriously, like one of the most important things you can do for yourself. Actually, if you just bathe with salt in general, beautiful, perfect. Because what salt does is it has certain ionic bonds. Basically what it has is certain ionic compounds that when they correlate with our atomic makeup and like even the energy that we hold in certain areas of our body and stuff like that, what it can do is it can kind of like, they call it cleanse the energy. You can call it whatever you want. I call it neutralizing the energy, just because like the ions play in effect with one another. So that's how you can use salt to really like cleanse your energy. Like say you're around some negativity, say you just like witnessed a fight, or like say you were fighting with someone, I don't know, whatever you want. Okay, so you should ideally go shower with salt afterwards, not right after, but like whenever you get home or whatever. Because what this does is it allows for your energy to be reset in a sense. So yeah, really cool, really beautiful, really awesome stuff. Another amazing health habit that I've learned over the past 3 years and how beneficial it is the concept of chanting the most supreme mantra out of like all mantras, which is the Maha Mantra. It's literally called the Great Mantra in Sanskrit, and basically you like chant it, and what it does is it cleanses your mind from like all thoughts that are basically anything other than love. So like illicit thoughts, thoughts of pride, thoughts of egotism, thoughts of jealousy, thoughts of envy towards yourself or other people, thoughts of massive like pride unnecessarily, even thoughts of depression and sadness. Chanting is something that made me realize that there is nothing that is separate from God. There is nothing that is separate from source consciousness, because everything is connected directly back to source consciousness. It's very simple. Like we exist in a web, literally, figuratively, metaphysically, and physically, that of things that are all connected. So it's amazing when you realize. And yeah, chanting also taught me that like, hey, because nothing is separate from God or disconnected from God, literally everything that we deem to be like a problem or something that is unfixable is actually nothing at all. It's nothing, like at all. If anything, it's just there to teach us a lesson, a spiritual, a very like soul deeply rooted, like loss of ego type lesson, you know? But other than that, all your worries, all your problems are ultimately decided by source consciousness anyway. So you can ask the boss, because you're existing in his world, like facts. Like, do you power your heartbeat every day? No. You know, big man does it. Like, you don't need to pretend that you're all powerful or capable of anything, because we're not. That's why prayer is so beautiful and important and life-changing and transformational and all cultivating and all manifesting. Because what it does is it allows you to have a direct gateway of communication with divine, with your creator, with divine. And it allows you to go ahead and ask for whatever you want, like a child asking its mother very purely, right? Love is the key. Love is the key factor. With love, you can learn everything there is to learn, all the secrets of the universe. With love, you can learn how to heal yourself and others using your mind, using your hands, right? With love, all knowledge is accessible, even knowledge of like Akashic records and things like that, right? So it's really cool when we understand that love is actually the driving force, the power behind everything. That's what Source is, the driving force, the power. And you hear this phrase all the time, God is love, right? Think about that. It's very literal, literally. Like it's like, oh no, like that's such a cute, like, no baby, it's like real. Like, it's a literal phrase. So it's hilarious, but sometimes the answer is just like right in front of you. You know, I've noticed this so many times with myself too. Like, sometimes the answer is just staring at you in the face. And as human beings, we're so adamant on staying stuck in our ways. Yeah, it's true. We really just seek comfort, and we seek even a leader. We seek direction. We seek directions as well. Please give me instructions on what I should do with my life. Have you ever caught yourself saying that or feeling that way? That connection with source consciousness is what your intuition is. It's the same thing. Intuition is the same as having direct connectivity and communication with the divine. There is no difference. Amazing how that works out, yeah? So just a few health things that I wanted to touch on. Another thing, one last thing, is that eating greens is amazing. It's amazing. Actually, when I started eating more plant-based, like, I just want to tell you guys something. Like, everyone's like, oh, vegans talk about, like, veganism so much. And it's like, yes, that's true. Facts. Like, why, you know, like, you're right, and we're not going to stop. Like, because look, if you feel as though you found like nature's finest answers when it comes to what you should be fueling your body with, then wouldn't you want to tell that to everyone? You know, and wouldn't you want to like instill some sort of curiosity in people, like, hey, yeah, maybe I should try like this vegan thing. Like what is this that people can't shut up about, you know? It's to raise awareness, and it's for a cause. And granted, you know, these people are not being paid to talk about veganism. At least I'm not, and I talk about it like my life depends on it. Honestly, I'm not for regular veganism though. I mean, like, I'm for it, like, do what you want. But I'm into being a ahimsa vegan, which is like you can still have like milk and stuff. It is from animals that were raised with ahimsa or nonviolence. So, you know, if you want to have like I don't know, actually, I don't have like animal milk or like products. Do I? I have like ghee, and I have like halwa, which is like sometimes made with milk. Maybe I do. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm really actually just ahimsa vegan. But yeah, ahimsa veganism is like super dope. Like, honestly, give it a shot if you want. You don't have to, but I think you should. Let me know how it was, because look, I was really depressed. Okay, look, baby, sit down and grab a pen and paper because I have to talk to you, okay? So I have been depressed for many years. It's not just like, okay, like I was depressed like all of my sophomore year. Like, I was depressed my whole life. Like, maybe not my whole life, but a lot of it. And starting from the age of like, I think it kicked actually when I was like 14. So like, no, 14 I was still fine. 15, yeah, I kicked in when I was like 15. So from the age of 15 to 23, I've been kind of like going through it, you know what I mean? So like that's the whole reason I made a YouTube channel, because I was like, baby, I have to discuss my experiences and everything I went through and like provide my messages of what I understood when I went through it, because I've been through a lot. You can't even imagine. It's like, think of anything and I've been through it, I've seen it, I've witnessed it. Go ahead, like put it in the comments below, like what do you think I've been through? Like I've been through so much. So much, and no one can ever guess, like looking at me, no one will ever know, because I do not reflect my past experiences. Thank God. I'm lucky. I'm grateful that I don't, you know. I'm lucky that I have received enough help from God and the divine such that I do not represent my past experiences, whether they be negative or positive. It doesn't matter. It just, the past is the past, right? That's what we're talking about here. It's not about how good or bad the experience was. You don't want to represent any of it because you want to keep evolving. You want to keep moving forward. You want to keep growing, right? So it's very important that we don't actually embody anything of the past whatsoever. None. Zero. Zilch. It's very important. You don't want to embody the past. You want to keep progressing into the future. Have that be your sense of direction, and have that merge into your sense of self, and have that change and evolve your own sense of self over time. And keep moving forward, keep moving on. Because like, look, it's like if you wait for something, you know what I mean, in your life, you're stagnant because you're waiting, you know? Don't wait for it. The time is now. To do anything, to move on from anything, to what have you, it's now. Each moment is more and more and more far apart from the last. Do you get what I'm saying? Time just progresses. And we know this, but we don't internalize it enough, I think, because people waste so much time. People waste so much time. I used to go to like bars and stuff like that. I used to go to clubs and I would like have a blast, you know what I mean? But I wouldn't know the next day kind of like how much time that I spent there could have been spent somewhere else. You get what I'm saying? Like I wouldn't internalize the massive I wouldn't internalize the massive measurements of the opportunity cost that was at play, because I would just waste so much time not really being in the present moment, for example, and, you know, seeking illusion, really. When you seek illusion, you waste a lot of time. Actually, more than waste, you just lose time. You lose it. It's gone. There's no such thing as wasting time, really, because that would assume that time goes into this form of like waste. It doesn't go anywhere. It goes back to God. It goes back to the cycle of recycling when it comes to timelines and time frames, because everything is spherical. So everything has a cycle, including reincarnation, including the current age we're in, Kali Yuga, right? Including everything. Everything is cyclical. So no, when it comes to time, it's being recycled. You'll never get it back in this current life. And hopefully you don't get it back in the next life, because we don't want to be born again here on earth, right? We want to ascend, baby. There's like so many other places we can go. Trust me. Trust me. Bible. Earth is not the best place. Guaranteed. You can ask me about that. Not that I know about that, but like, if you read the Bhagavad Gita, I'm just kidding. If you read the Bhagavad Gita, you would know everything that I know. Everything that I know is from reading and my own experiences. That's it. Just pay attention to your own experiences and read, and that's it. You'll be on the same wavelength as me. So yeah. All right. Those are just some things that I've learned health-wise when it comes to maintaining your material, emotional, physical, and spiritual health, as well as psychological health. Let me know which type you guys found to be the most helpful. Go ahead and comment anything if this video helped you. Please share this video with your friends and family members if this video helped you. Thank you guys so much for watching until the very end. All of my social medias are down below if you would like to subscribe to any of the other ones. Turn on the bell for my post notifications to get notified every single time I post. Subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. That correlate with our... what is it? Basically, okay, I have to calm down because I get very passionate, but I don't want to offend anyone. So let me start over.